Hello everyone and welcome back to Odds on Europa League. On today's show we'll be previewing the 10 best games from the Europa League last 32 second legs, bringing you the best betting tips, predictions and everything we can do to get you some more money. If you enjoyed the show, please make sure you do give this video a like, subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications bell to make sure you don't miss any of our daily betting uploads. And remember, you can win a £10 free bet from Novibet simply by leaving a comment in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you, so please do drop into that live comment section, join the conversation, and our team here will speak to you and answer all your questions. But before we go any further, I must introduce our star-studded lineup, of course. That is Alvaro, Romeo, and Danny Fisichella.
Hello, guys.
Hello. So Thursday nights, as we know, they are Europa League nights, but we actually start on Wednesday in North London as we look at Spurs at home to Wolfsberger. Spurs 9th in the Premier League. They've lost 5 of their last 6 games in the league. Jose's hanging on to his fingertails for the job there. Seems to have convinced the fan base that he's the right man for the job. But we go into the second leg with a 4-1 advantage to their Austrian opponents. Wolfsberger 5th in the Austrian Bundesliga. Do you think there's any chance of them being able to progress here? It seems to have gone out the window with that first leg scoreline of 4-0. So, yeah, Spurs to win both halves is 2.8. That's where my money's going. Danny, I'll start with you. What's your tip for this one?
Well, Tottenham play on a Wednesday, and probably winning the Europa League is the best chance to play on a Wednesday or a Tuesday next year, because as Mourinho said, the top 4 finish is very unlikely. They 8 defeats in the league at the weekend against West Ham. They host Burnley on a Sunday, so I think their minds is in the league because they don't want to get embarrassed either at Turf Moor. Wolfsberger, they bounce back. They won 2-1 away at Sturm Graz. They play the bottom team in Austria the weekend. Very tough to see the Austrian really troubling Mourinho's side. They will make changes. I'm going to give them an Asian handicap of -2 for Spurs, 2.39. But be careful because the Austrian might nick a goal.
Yeah, so I think one of our commenters, Milvano, believes that Jose is going to make some changes. He's in agreement with you. Alvaro, for you, how do you see this one going?
Well, I think that probably Jose is going to make some changes, but at the same time, I think that he wants to have all his squad very active and activated as well. The other day, I think that he was even angry at the journalist for asking him something about the quality of his training after the game against West Ham United, and he said that his training methods are second to none. So I think that Jose Mourinho wants to vindicate himself here, and he won't accept a bad performance from his players. I think that Wolfsberger, they are about this. I don't think that they can get any further in the competition. This is, in fact, the first time they are in the knockouts of the Europa League for the first time in their history. So I'm going to go for, as you said, Tom, you took it from me, actually. Tottenham winning both halves. That's something that I really, really back. I believe that this is something that may happen. And that pays, as you said, 280. It's great money, great return for something that I believe that is going to happen.
Absolutely, yeah. I can see them coming strong at the start and ending strongly as well. The second game is Man United at home to Real Sociedad. Last week's result really surprised us, isn't it? Let us know in the comments if that surprised you, because we were thinking that Sociedad were going to perform quite well there. Man United, they're battling for second in the Premier League. Of course, they won 4-0 last week. They've got their feet up. They'll be resting some players. And also because they've got a big game at the weekend at home or against certainly Chelsea. Sociedad, they're probably another side whose first leg performance means that they're sort of out of the competition. It would be a miracle to turn this around, particularly at Old Trafford. I think United are probably going to kill this game off quite early on. I'm looking at under 2.5 goals at 2.30. But Alvaro, I'll ask you, what do you see happening in this one?
Well, my favorite bet here is over 3 goals. That doubles up your money. I do believe that probably Real Sociedad wants to, wash a little bit their image after what they did at Torino when they lost against Manchester United. I have to say that I was surprised about how big was the difference between Real Sociedad and Manchester United. At some point, it looked like Manchester United could have scored 6 or 7 goals if they wanted to. So they killed the tire in that game. I think that Real Sociedad, they got a shock of reality. But yes, Manchester United will probably rest some players. I can see that happening. But whoever comes to deputize over the starters, like the likes of Martial or Greenwood or some good players that Manchester United have in the squad, Juan Mata, I think that they are good enough to score goals as well. So that's why I'm backing this thing over 3 goals in this game. And as I said before, that gives you 2.17, and it feels like a very reasonable bet.
I think, as you can see on the odds on the screen, Man United win 2. I mean, it's quite high if you think, considering the first game. So that could be your bunker for this Europa League, or maybe something to put in your ACCA. Man United, they won at the weekend against Newcastle, but it was not straightforward. It was a bit sluggish at the beginning. Often they start the game slow. Obviously not against Sociedad in the first game. They've scored 53 goals so far in 25 league games. That's the best tally since 2012-2013. However, Real Sociedad, they are the 4th best attack in Spain in La Liga. They won 4-0 at the weekend. And, they're not a bad defense either. That's why that defeat is quite shocking. They only conceded 20 in La Liga, 1 more than Real and 2 less than Barcelona. Maybe Barcelona got their own issues. We talk about this another time. They're not bad away either in the Liga, 6 wins. So, okay, if you want to be cautious, go for a Man United win. But if you want just a little bit more excitement in your Thursday evening, why don't you go for Real Sociedad to take the lead, 240.
That's what we're after on a Thursday evening, especially these times, days. 240, that sounds nice for Real Sociedad to take the lead at Old Trafford. The next game we have here is Milan at home to Red Star. They almost sneaked it, didn't they, the Serbs? 2-2 at the weekend. On last Thursday, it was 2-2 in Belgrade with a last-minute goal. Milan, of course, they're battling for the Scudetto in Italy. They took a bit of a comprehensive beating against their city rivals Inter, of course. Red Star, their opponents, they're topping the Superliga. As discussed on last week's show, they're top of the Serbian division. They've played 22, won 20, and drawn 2. They've got a phenomenal record domestically. Milan don't necessarily need to win this one to qualify. But what's going to happen here, do you think? Danny, I'll start with you.
Well, I think Milan needs to bounce back because they've been poor in the last month. Already 4 defeats in the last month domestically. Against Inter, they were second best. They lost all the individual battles. And also in Belgrade, lapses of concentration cost them a win that was pretty much secured. Milan, this could be a turning point for the season. They cannot rest on their laurels. So far, they've done great, but they go to Rome on Sunday. Key game for the 2nd or 3rd spot. And obviously they face Red Star, which will be at least full of confidence. When you get a 2-2 against Milan in those conditions, you'll be happy, very happy, and we saw it. And also, Red Star Belgrade, 8 away wins in the last 9. They haven't lost away since 2-0 since October, when they lost 2-0 at Hoffenheim. They won 2-0 in Ghent in the Europa League qualification stage, so nothing to be underestimated. And, Stankovic, Dejan Stankovic, he comes back to his old stomping ground, a former Inter legend, and wonder who's the favorite, who was the best victim of Stankovic when he was playing? Milan. He scored 6 against them, so at least that could be a good omen for them. But let's go back to the betting. Milan to score in both fouls. I think Milan needs to bounce back. 2.10.
Brilliant. Okay, Alvaro, for you.
Yes, I was going to choose that one that Daniele chose, but I've got another possibility. Look, I think that Milan suffered a big upset at the weekend, and I do believe that they have to bounce back. I mean, they are 5 points ahead of the 4th spot in the Serie A, and they have to defend that. And this weekend they play against Roma, who is the 4th qualified. So I'm sure that Milan knows that they have to win in the Europa League, but at the same time, they will have obviously some precautions. Let's don't get an injury in this game against Red Star. If we are winning after the 70th minute, maybe we start thinking about what's going to happen in the weekend. And Red Star can be dangerous. I think that Red Star had a winter break, and that is helping them a lot. I could see that against Milan, that they had some extra energy at some point in the game. That's why Pavkov scored in the 93rd minute, because they were still energetic enough to go for it in the last minutes of the game. And I think that the Serbians can be a good opponent, and definitely they can put some trouble on Milan's table. But at the same time, I believe that in this kind of games, the quality tends to impose itself. So what Daniele said is perfectly spot on. Milan to score in both halves is what I would have backed. And there is another one that I do like, basically because you get a good money for it. A clean sheet for Milan is a good one too, that pays 225. They have done it 4 times in 2021. They left a clean sheet against Crotone, against Cagliari, against Torino twice. So yeah, I'm backing that one as well.
Okay, looking like the Milan side will be progressing on Thursday night. The next game we've got is Leicester City at home to Slavia Prague. Another side who did very well actually against elite competition. 0-0 in that first leg. Not a game full of chances, but Slavia certainly held their own. Leicester, of course, as we know, they're second in the English Premier League. They're not yet a proven force in European competition, and they've done obviously very well to be around the top 4 in those for the last 2 seasons. Slavia, top of the Czech league. They've got 16 wins from 20, no defeats. They look a very accomplished outfit, and clearly a lot of good players have come through their ranks in recent years. I think this one's going to be a tight one. I think Leicester will certainly have their eye on securing second spot in English football. Double chance on Slavia pays 261. Alvaro, you like the odds of that?
I love that one. Yeah, if you have any belief in Slavia Prague, and they are a good team, and let's don't forget that last season they were playing in the Champions League and they gave a proper fight to Barcelona. Let's don't forget that this is a team that they lost Thomas Solsek to West Ham United, but still they managed to be very competitive. If you believe in Slavia Prague, and it's not crazy to think that, go for a double chance. That pays 261, as you said before, and I like it. I think that there are a couple of factors here that they are going to define the game. Let's see, if, for example, if James Maddison is playing, because so far he's doubtful for the game, and he's one of those players who can trigger anything special anytime. So if you believe in Slavia Prague, that is your bet. However, if you believe on Leicester City, I think that an Asian handicap of -1 for Leicester is a very appealing market as well. That will double up your money too. And let's don't forget that Leicester City, when they score, they score. They did 3 against Liverpool, for example. So this is what they are capable of. So if you believe in Leicester goal scoring abilities, then let's go for an Asian handicap of -1 for them.
I would have gone for the same, -1, because I was impressed by Leicester in the last few weeks. You mentioned Maddison. Harvey Barnes is also very in form, already 13 goals this season, involved with assists in the last few games as well. Maybe Jamie Vardy is due a goal. He hasn't been scoring in the last 2-3 weeks, and we know, he always finds the net. It depends what kind of 11 Rodgers puts on the pitch, but when he traveled to Prague, he put pretty much the best 11. Obviously, Leicester have got the Champions League spot in their mind. They lost the Champions League last season on the last game against Man United. So, Rodgers could be split in 2 minds, but I think for a team that is gaining European experience, this game is key, and I think Leicester will probably put their best performance. Obviously, Slavia Prague, a good team, a team that I think we will hear more about next year. We're looking forward to see them in the Champions League, but as Alvaro said, Asian handicap -1 for Leicester, or Leicester to score in both halves, and that pays 240.
Okay, Leicester, again, looking like they'll probably, hopefully for them, progress into the next round, into the last 16. The next game is played in Rome. It's Roma versus Braga. The Italian side are 2 up from the first leg. They've lost just 1 of their last 18 European home games. Dzeko has scored a quarter of Roma's Europa League goals since he joined in 2016. He scored 26 of them. It'll be interesting to see if he plays and he starts. Their second top goal scorer, interestingly, is actually own goals. Very underrated player. Braga, their opponents, they're 3rd in the Portuguese top flight. They're actually above Benfica in the standings, but they're 11 points behind the leaders Sporting. And also they've lost 3 of their last away from home in all competitions. What do we like the look of here? Are we expecting Braga to come out fighting with that 2-goal deficit?
Alvaro, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Roma have done the job and they've done it really well in Braga. And they are, as we said, for Milan on Sunday, there is a key game, Roma-Milan, very important for the second or third spot. I think Roma will rest many players, although they don't have many available at the moment. They have a bit of an injury crisis, especially in defense. There is no Smalling, there is no Ibañez, no Cristante. They had to play Federico Fazio. They probably took it out of a freezer. He was somewhere there. He hasn't played since August. But he did well. 0-0 at Benevento. Disappointingly for Roma, in the game I saw against Benevento, they ended up with 4 strikers on the pitch and 1 man up because Glick was sent off. They couldn't trouble the Benevento keeper in the last 20-25 minutes. And usually Roma against the so-called small teams, they are deadly, they're clinical, they always win. So that could be a little bit worrying. And for this reason, and without nothing taken against Braga, I think they'll be in the fight for the Champions League spot until the end, at least domestically. I think a low-scoring game, maybe under 2.5, 2.26.
Daniele, when you talk about players coming out of the freezer, I always remember Andy Carroll and Umtiti, 2 players that I still, think that they are retired players in some in a certain way. I think that they are already retired, and every now and then they play, and that surprises me a lot. For this game, Roma-Praga, that's an interesting one because I think that Praga are a good team. I definitely think that it's quite a thing that they are third in the Portuguese Superliga, considering that Benfica are fourth. And at the same time, I don't think that they are threatening enough when it comes to attacking. Look, just check their scorers this season. Horta has scored 7 goals in the league, and this is their best scorer. Piazon has scored 5 goals this season. I mean, you cannot go to Roma with players who have scored so few goals and try to put a fight to them. I mean, you have to bring something else. And I do believe that this is the problem of Braga, that for all the football that they can generate, they cannot finish it. So in this game, I'm going for an Asian handicap of -1 for Roma. That doubles up your money, and I think that that is a very clever bet. Why am I not going for a clean sheet? Because I do believe that the clean sheets are more speculative than nothing, especially in the Europa League or in the Champions League. But because when one team already has won the tire by the 70th minute, for example, scoring a 4-0, they let it go a little bit. They don't think about the goal difference anymore because this is not a league. So the clean sheet is a little bit speculative. That's why my first idea in the Milan Red Star game was not the clean sheet. That was my second choice. I think the clean sheet is not a great one here. So I'm going for the Asian handicap of -1 for Roma.
Yeah, absolutely right. In the Europa League second leg, that's not the time to be betting on clean sheets. So I'm in agreement with you. The next game we look at is Arsenal at home, supposedly at home, to Benfica. They played the first leg at the Olimpico in Rome. This will be played in Greece. It's 1-1 from the first leg. Arsenal 10th in the Premier League, just won of their last 6 in all competitions. Looks like winning the Europa League could be their only chance of qualifying for either Champions League or any European football whatsoever. Pepe usually performs a little bit better. Could he play a key role? Let's find out. Benfica 4th. They've got the top goal scorer in the competition playing for them, Pizzi. He tops the charts with 7 goals. I can't call this one, actually. I'll leave it up to you guys.
Daniele, I will start if you don't mind. I think that here a double chance is quite appealing. I mean, if you believe in Benfica, go for it because that doubles up your money. And I don't think it's crazy at all. To start with, Arsenal is not playing at home. They are playing in Greece. So this is going to be a neutral venue. And I don't see why Benfica should not qualify this time, really. So I would think about the double chance. If you're a believer on Benfica or if you don't believe on Arsenal, then think about that one. Also, an Asian handicap of 0 for Benfica alone, that triples up your money. So those are interesting markets, and I think that Benfica has to vindicate themselves because their season has been really bad. They did a very heavy investment this summer, and the situation over there is a little bit turbulent as well. This week at Lisbon, Benfica fans organized a protest against the direction of the club. At the same time, there is a little bit of unrest in there. The former president of Benfica, Gaspar Ramos, said that Jorge Jesus, the manager, is still there. because he was the president who chose him, Luis Felipe Vieira. So, as you can see, Jorge Jesus is under heavy questioning. And at the same time, this Benfica team has pride, they've got history, and they know how to win titles. Maybe not in Europe, but definitely domestically. So I think that they want to prove themselves. So I'm going to back them here, definitely. A double chance for Benfica.
I disagree on this one because Benfica seemed to me a little bit toothless when they played against Arsenal. And also in the league, they dominate the possession, a lot of tick-tick-tock, tick-tack, but not much end product, I must say. No away wins in 5 for Benfica. They already lost to Braga, they lost to Sporting, they drew with Porto, so they don't seem to have it when it really matters. And also, they don't score many, only 33 goals score. They are the worst attack, so the 4th worst attack of the top 4. But, the Portuguese league is a little bit unbalanced. So if you are 4 out of 4, you're not doing really well in terms of scoring. Arsenal, they don't score many either. 31 goals scored in the league, 11th attack. So it's not great stats. Against Man City, again, they didn't really trouble Man City. Ederson only made 1 save. However, that was the first defeat at home since the 22nd of December when they lost against Man City. I know they're not playing at the Emirates. I think they're favorite, but I can't see a very high-scoring game. I mean, I would go for a 0-0. Don't know what the odds are. Or I would go for a low-scoring game, but maybe Arsenal clean sheet, 263. But it might well be ending 0-0.
You can get 0-0 at Oddpedia at 12. So 12 for a 0-0.
Not bad. Not bad. Game.
The next game we're looking at now will be Villarreal at home to Salzburg. Unai Emery's side have a 2-0 advantage after their first leg, got that in their pocket. They're 6th in La Liga. They've won just 2 of their last 9 in all competitions, but plenty of draws. Salzburg, they're topping the Austrian Bundesliga. I thought they did brilliantly in the Champions League stage. I think we spoke about this earlier in the week. I think they did very well. They were very unlucky to not qualify in a group that consisted of Bayern and also Atletico. They're a decent side. They're topping the Austrian Bundesliga, as I said. Do you think they can overcome a 2-goal deficit here and make it through? What stands out for you guys in this game?
I think that's going to be very difficult because Villarreal is a team with the know-how. They are, I would say, that rather conservative, believe it or not. And if the game gets a little bit crazy, they also know how to rest with the ball on their feet because they've got players like Coquelin or Dani Parejo. They've got good midfielders. They've got Pedraza. I mean, the players who can actually rest with the ball on their feet. And that makes Villarreal a team that if they want, they can put it to bed and make the game sleep. So I think that Salzburg are definitely a team that they are going to go for it because they don't know their way. And when they attack, they are what we expect them to be. And the only thing that they have been doing lately in the Champions League and in the Europa League is go for it. So they are a very daring team. In this game, that's why I'm going to go for the over 3 goals because I think that Salzburg, they are going to try to score, that they are going to score, and Villarreal, they are going to hit back. And whenever the time comes to rest with the ball, Villarreal is going to, as I said before, make the game just finish. So the over 3 goals market is a very interesting one. That doubles up your money, 213, and I will back that one definitely.
Well, first of all, thanks guys for the comments. I can see some people predict Arsenal winning 3-1. George says 0-0 for Benfica. They will progress. But I think this one, guys, is a little bit more difficult to call. I wonder whether if Villarreal, they played better away than at home. They only won 1 home in the last 5. I think against Salzburg, because Unai Emery played with the big guns up front. Probably it was the first start in the Europa League for both Alcácer and Moreno. They made the difference. They also missed a penalty there in the first half. So I think they were quite clear the best team. Salzburg have got attacking, interesting players. Paston Daka, already 18 goals this season. Sekou Koita, 14 goals. So I agree with Alvaro. I think Salzburg are going to score. But for this one, I'm going to go for the outright market. I'm going to go for a Spanish win. El Submarino Amarillo, the Yellow Submarine, Villarreal 196. It's not quite double your money. I think you can trust it.
Brilliant. Muvano says that there's going to be over 1.5 goals for Villarreal at 1.77. He's liking the look of the Yellow Submarine as well. The 8th game that we've got to look at for Thursday is Napoli at home to Granada. Gattuso's side will have to overcome a 2-goal deficit from their first leg. Napoli, they've lost 4 of their last 5. Actually, the other game was a narrow 1-0 win over Juventus. Funny old game, isn't it, really? Granada, they're 9th in La Liga, just 1 win in their last 6, and that actually came last week against Napoli, their opponents here. On Sunday, they lost to the bottom side Huesca, conceded 3, and had a man sent off. I'm not sure how much further either of these sides are going to go in the competition after this round. Napoli are huge favourites with the bookmakers at 1.6. Who wants to take this one first?
Shall I go?
Go for it.
I think Napoli needs a small miracle, really. Not because of the quality of the team. They have quality, but they got too many absentees. They'll probably miss half of the defense. They'll miss Osimhen. He had injury. And the problem with Napoli is that they start lately games very slow, and they seem to suffer this time of the season when they are under pressure. Gattuso says they cannot do more with the situation they are in it. The president said Gattuso is safe in place until they're challenging for the Champions League. So that's a quite threatening, proposition. Obviously, the Europa League can give you a spot in the Champions League. At the moment, Napoli are 6th. They just start the game very slowly. But if we look at the last 5 home games, they won 6, including that win against Juventus, which they didn't deserve to win, but 1-0 is 1-0, 6-0 against Fiorentina. So, at Maradona, they can find the good form, whereas Granada, no wins in the last 5, conceded 10 in the last 4 away La Liga games. So the result was a bit surprising, the first leg result. I think Napoli are going to go for it. Let's go for an Asian handicap -1 for Napoli, which pays 2.12. Remember, obviously, if they only win with 1 goal difference, you get your money back. So, no big drama, apart from Gattuso.
I will be back in what Daniele said, but let's don't forget that there is a Granada in La Liga, and there is another Granada in the Europa League. I don't know what is it, really. I don't know what is it, but I think that the Spanish teams have gotten the hang of Granada in La Liga. Last season, Granada was just newly promoted. The team did better than expected. I think that their intensity was rarely matched by any other club in La Liga. And this season, I think that all the clubs know how to play against them. Not in Europe, though. I mean, let's don't forget that this team qualified in a group with PAOK Thessaloniki and PSG Eindhoven. Those are good clubs. I mean, and Granada was capable of, making it through the group stage against teams like this. And Granada doesn't have any European pedigree. So that was very impressive. Instead of, growing a complex, Granada in Europe, because they couldn't win, Europe has fortified Granada. It's very strange. The team has a new confidence. And against Napoli, they showed that. I think they were better than Napoli during the game. And they managed to leave a clean sheet. So when I say that there are 2 different Granadas, it's because in La Liga, they are a team that is very leaky. They have conceded 41 goals. In fact, they are the worst defense in Spanish domestic football. But in Europe, they have conceded only 3 goals in the Europa League. That's quite a thing. So I think that Granada, when they take it seriously, the problem is that they take it seriously only in Europe this season, because in La Liga, they are not going to be relegated. They've got already 30 points, and they are letting it go many times. But when they take it seriously in Europe, they are a really, really solid, tough, rigid team. So the under 2 goals market is something that I will back here. I'm not saying who is going to score them, but under 2 goals in this game, that pays you 3.75. And I do believe that that is a great bet for you.
So that means Napoli will be knocked out. And Onur says both teams to score in this game, but then Napoli to progress, they need to score at least 4 probably. And Vano says Granada were like Sheffield United last season. But they're not like Sheffield United this season.
No, because Granada, let's not forget that they have 30 points. And also they have won 8 games in La Liga this season. And they had a massive outbreak of COVID to fight against. Right. So I think Granada were a little bit unlucky when it came to injuries, COVID and all that. In fact, Soldado is not going to play at Napoli, and he's the best striker of Granada. And yet, I believe that really they are a solid team to play in Europe. And there is a player who goes a little bit under the radar, but he has been fantastic and phenomenal for them. I'm talking about Kennedy, former Chelsea and Newcastle player. He's one of the best players in Granada, and on the left wing, he's really causing a lot of havoc and chaos to the opponent's defenses.
That's one to look out for on Thursday nights. Just to end there, George wants Napoli to beat Granada 3-0. George, you can get odds of 14 for that if you're looking in that correct score market. Our penultimate game is Bayer Leverkusen at home to Young Boys. It was an absolute classic in the first leg. Young Boys won that one 4-3. For me, it was the best type of 4-3. One team's 3-0 up, the others bring it back to level 3-3, and then just a last-minute winner to really rub salt in the wounds. It's the type of football I really do adore. Leverkusen, they're 5th in the Bundesliga. It's going to be tough for them to worm their way back into the top 4, I feel, at this stage. Young Boys, they top the Swiss division, just one defeat in the league all season. They've won 7 games in a row, and they're very high on confidence. You can see that by the way that they were celebrating each and every goal last week. They've scored in 9 of their last 10 away games, winning 8 along the way in all competitions. I actually really fancy Young Boys for this one. I know they're massive outsiders at 5, but I just think that they're high on confidence and they're going to do the damage. But Alvaro, you're shaking your head. In fact, you're both shaking your head. Alvaro, I'll ask you first.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And Young Boys, they are really attractive to watch. And the other day, I was very impressed in this game. It was beautiful to see that 4-3. It was, having a 7 goals contest in the middle of February. It's dark. You're watching football. You think, oh my God, I'm wishing summer was here already. And then, you put the TV and you get gifted with a game like this. That was fantastic. So I think that we're going to have a second gift this time. I do believe that Bayer Leverkusen are going to manage to come back. They are going to climb the ladder. And yes, I know that they are not doing great in the Bundesliga, but for all the deficiencies they have, they are still 5th in the Bundesliga. So they are not that bad. They lost Kai Havertz and still they have scored more than 40 goals this season in the Bundesliga. And I do believe that Young Boys are going to put a fight, but Leverkusen is going to score in both halves. And that duplicates your money. That is my best bet.
I was going to go exactly for the same, also because the game, yes, was beautiful, but it was also made of comical defenses. The first couple of goals, the last one, I think Leverkusen got caught cold by Young Boys, who scored 2 set pieces, and then they reacted in the second half. I think Leverkusen at home, they are strong. This year they beat Dortmund, Eintracht, they scored 5 recently against Stuttgart. So on this one, I know Young Boys, they obviously pretty much won the league in the domestic league. They even rested a few players at the weekend. Elia and Siebachu, the guy who scored 2 goals and the winning goal, didn't play. So that could be at their advantage. It's a massive game for both teams, because I think Leverkusen could be considered one of the black horses of this competition. Alvaro already said that the Germans to score in both halves, and I think what Vano is suggesting, I am with you, over 3.5 goals, and that pays 2.25 the last time I checked.
Brilliant. Onya says that Leverkusen aren't a team to trust when it comes to protecting the lead at the moment. George is backing Young Boys for an away win. Let's be adventurous. Why not? I'm with you. I'm with you, George. The final game we look at is Ajax at home to Lille. 2 brilliant sides. It's a shame they had to meet so early on in the competition, as I had high hopes for them. They might go quite far in this tournament. The Dutch side have a 2-1 advantage. They're topping the Eredivisie. They've won 18 of 22 league games, and they've won 10 straight, and they haven't lost since December. Lille, on the other hand, it's sort of similar, really. They're topping the Ligue 1. They were actually my outside bet to win the whole thing for this first leg. 56. I think the outright market for the Europa League is very wide. But yeah, they're 4 points above PSG in the standings and conceded just 16 goals in the league all year. What do you guys like the look of in this game?
I think
Danny, I'll start with you.
I think Lille are still in it, not only because they're having a great season, but if we look at their away records, as you mentioned, I mean, they won the last 8 away games since mid-December. They keep winning away, and they kept 6 clean sheets since December away. Won at Milan 3-0 at San Siro when Milan were top of the league and flying. I think this needs to be considered as well. And yes, they were a bit lucky, I think, in Amsterdam because Ajax dominated the first half and then they gifted them the goal and Ajax responded. So I think Lille, they can be threatening. Obviously, Ajax showed that maturity that sometimes we said they lacked in European competition. Probably Lille to score first, to take the lead. If they really have a good start of the game, they could be possible 2.5.
Yes, this is a nice one, actually. Lille beat Lorient this weekend 4-1, and they top the Ligue 1, which makes me think that if they lose, it won't be a drama because they can win their first league title in almost a decade. And at the same time, they are set to qualify for Champions League. So, that is fantastic already for Lille. It's topping their expectations. It's much more that they could have asked for at the beginning of the season. So I think that Lille, they are going to try to win this game, of course, but maybe they don't have the obligation, neither the hunger, to qualify for the last 16 round in the Europa League. Then Ajax, we know that it's different because they are going to win the Dutch title. That's probable, not done yet, but they are 6 points ahead of PSV in Doven, and their goal difference in Dutch football is ridiculous. I think it's over 50. So they are basically running away with the title. They reached the final of this competition in 2017. Probably they know after a couple of upsets that making it to the Champions League semi-finals again, as they did it in 2019, is very difficult. So maybe the Europa League, it's a good option for them to win a European title again, which they haven't done since 1995. There are 2 key players that are not playing for Ajax. We all know that. Onana, because he had some problem with the doping. I'm not going to get into that in depth. Then they didn't sign Sebastian Aller, which is actually laughable. And I think that Ajax really wants to win this competition, and they're going to set their eye in this competition. So I'm going for the following. I think that both teams can score. That pays only 171. It's a little bit conservative, but you can take it. But an Asian handicap of 0 for Lille, that pays 299, and it's a very interesting one because I can see Ajax winning here, but not for a big margin.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I quite like the look of Lille, but yeah, the odds say that Ajax are certainly the favourites for this one. Well, we've now previewed every second leg game of the Europa League Last 32 action, but of course, it's the highlight of everyone's show. It's the ACCA we're after in the Europa League. Daniele, can you start us off with your ACCA for the Europa League this week?
Okay, 5 games. Arsenal to win, Napoli to take the lead, Milan to win against Red Star. In the game, Bayer Leverkusen versus Young Boys, both team to score, and Manchester United to take the lead. The total odds is 11.04.
Yes, I will start saying hello to Derek Parra, who says hi to me in our comments box. He says that Leverkusen is going to win, by the way, so he trusts the German. And I'm going for the following. I think that Tottenham is going to win both halves. I think that in the Lille Ajax, both teams are going to score. I think that Villarreal and Salzburg, they are going to produce over 3 goals, and Leverkusen is going to win. All that gets you 16-12.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'll make sure to put all those odds for the ACCA in the description box and the comments so everyone can get their hands on that. But if you enjoyed the show, please do make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notifications bell to make sure that you don't miss any of our daily video uploads. You can also now listen to this show as a podcast, wherever you listen to your podcasts. And also, you can still win that £10 free bet from Novibet simply by leaving a comment in the comment section once this video is uploaded. We're going to be back later in the week for more odds on across the Premier League, Serie A, Bundesliga, La Liga. We've got it all here on odds on with all the team. But I want to thank you, Daniele, and thank you, Alvaro, for your time and your insights. and let's get
Enjoy.
some winners.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.